Welcome back everyone, I'm K-Plays Games, this is EVE Online, and welcome back to the second half of day 2 of our brand new character. I left you just when we were about to undock in our brand new destroyer and go and conquer all the sites we'd scanned and been given as escalations. So let's see how we got on. Alright, we made it back here, and luckily both of the sites that we had bookmarked are still on the probe scanner, which means they're still active, which means no one else has run them. So let's go. Active. What we have here is this little tab you find in locations. This little pop out here opens this, which is a tiny little, essentially an additional overview, which lists all your personal locations which you have saved in this place. Interestingly, we didn't get a pop-up when we walked to this. We should have done, because it's a 2 out of 10. A little sneak preview of all the enemies in here, just as we decelerated through the room. So let's go. Now we have it. Active. Strangely, it's still not saying DED rating 2 out of 10, which it should. Very strange, because this is a 2 out of 10 site. I'm going to have to get a new overview to get rid of all this stupidity here. Okay, lots of frigates here. We need to get through that gate. I'm just going to approach the gate at normal speed and put one weapon on each of these guys. We do have 7 guns because we are a destroyer, and destroyers get lots of guns. Destroyers are effectively just 2 or 3 frigates welded together. I'm just going to stop, just to help my own tracking a little bit. Need to pick everything off. Our optimal range is only 8,000 kilometers. Fall off is 18. Just attack everything in range order. Okay, now they're all coming a bit closer. And that's a good thing, because if they're on direct approach, if they're yellow box, it means they're on direct approach, and that means they're going to be easier to hit. Which I think is being borne out by the fact they're all exploding. I could and perhaps should get a auto targeting unit in the final free high power slot of this ship. Not to automatically target anything, but just because it gives you additional maximum targets. At the moment, we only have 5 maximum targets. Okay, just a few more frigates to get rid of in here. One more. Alright, we didn't even get through the shields. You don't have to destroy the gun turrets, you can ignore those, so let's reload the guns and get a rush through the gate. We've only just passed 50% shield, and this is an active armor tanking fit, so yeah, yay me. I could have fitted this ship with a medium shield extender, and then we'd be racing in a DPS race to kill the enemies before the shield goes down. I don't like doing that, especially not in these sites, and especially not with the 0 skills which this character has. That would not be fun times. And of course, shield extenders chew up a lot of power, so we may not even be able to fit a full rack of 250mm guns. I did on this fit put auxiliary nano pump and a thermal armor amplifier. Active. So the EM resist is 60, thermal is 55, and the nano pump just boosts how many hit points our armor repairer gives us per second. This room very much like the first one, some gun turrets and a big load of frigates. And this one is different in that it has 3 stasis towers. They will grab us and slow us all the way down. Let these guys get a little bit closer, and then we'll just smash each one as they appear. We're now being webbed by at least one of the towers. We are using an artillery fit, so it's slightly longer range. Because longer range is kind of what you want in this site. And all the rated sites, to be honest. Oh god, I thought that guy was never going to die. Oops, accidentally targeted a gun turret. Didn't want to do that. We'll just untarget it. Target the frigates, because that's what we want to kill. 7 and 1 and 2 and 3. Right, he's dead. We need to get a rush through the gate. We're moving very slowly because we're being stasis webbed, but we'll just blow up the towers as we approach. Maximum speed 53.9, that's with the afterburner on. Stasis towers do slow you down rather an awful lot. Okay, that's one of them dead, so our speed's gone back up into 3 figures at last. Maximum speed, 149. Of course, everything you kill here is adding to the bounty pool, so we're constantly getting more money from bounty. We haven't found any big loot yet, but that may change in this site or the 2 Sansha command relay outposts, which are 3 out of 10 sites. That's another stasis tower gone. Our speed will go up even more. I'm just going to reload the guns. I'm not going to bother shooting the other stasis tower because we're almost at the acceleration gate. Tank seems to be holding okay, and we're gone.
Warp drive active.
Into room 3. This is a 4-room complex. Not easy. Yes, that is cruisers you see before you. This is going to be fun. Let's approach this guy first. Try and pick off its frigates as we approach. And one of them hit. You can hit all the way out to double your fall off, or you can hit beyond your fall off. As long as you can target lock something with turrets, you can hit it. Just at double your fall off, your chance to hit drops to 1%, and it stays at 1%. I have changed the keep it range on this ship to 15, because the fall off range is 18. Right, that seems to work quite well. Okay, this group down here has spotted what we're doing, the other group hasn't, so let's just keep this cruiser at range and try and kill it. Now, this is the only annoying thing about using gunships in MR space, is that the NPCs do tracking destruction, which lowers your tracking and your maximum range. Which is why we're having a little bit of difficulty in hitting this guy now, but we'll be okay. Maybe not. Fall off range has been cut. Let's just change the default to 10,000 then. Keep it at range at 10k. We really need to get rid of this first cruiser, then we'll take out all the frigates. Good, 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 good. Go away, little frigates. And you, we'll keep you at range to keep ourselves lined up. Because artillery cannons do not have very good tracking. They have great range and they hit like an absolute truck when they do hit something, but they don't hit things all that well. Okay, that's pretty good. Now it's our little destroyer versus these 3 cruisers. Tank seems to be holding okay. Of course, this is a scanned public site, so we could be interrupted by someone else running the site. But not many people run 2 out of 10s. Because they only let destroyers in at maximum size, most people do the combat anomalies and cruisers, like we saw ourselves in our Rupture and the other guy we saw in the Maller. So they can't fit in these sites, they don't bother. And even people in Tech 3 destroyers, which run combat sites, will often ignore these in favour of doing anomalies to get 3 out of 10 and 4 out of 10s. So yeah, not many people run these 2 out of 10s, and even less people run the 1 out of 10s. Not that we found a 1 out of 10. It is somewhat annoying that 1 out of 10 and 2 out of 10 are not granted as escalations by any of the sites. It would be nice if the burrows provided a 1 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10. But they don't. And the hideaway spawned in. Let's not get distracted. Let's just carry on with what we're doing. The tank is like okay. The time to worry is if our armour goes below 50%. That's the time to really panic and think about warping out. Here, let's just approach the final cruiser. So far so good. Again, in this site there is no blitz. You have to wipe out everything in the room to unlock the gate into the next room. So it takes quite a while, which is another reason people don't run them. Because, well, as I hope we're going to see later on, the 3 out of 10 is very fast to run. Comparatively fast. Let's just approach the gate. Are we going to kill him before we need to reload? Maybe. He's dipping into hull. I'm going to say yes. Just, and no more. Right, into the final room of this 2 out of 10 complex. Now this final room can be a little bit hard, unless you know kind of a secret. Well, it's not a secret, it's just a method. There's a method to this. How many stations are in this system? Just the one. Hey, that's okay. I removed stations from the overview because they were cluttering it. Because you can always just right click and read what's in the system. Same with the planet. You don't need planets and asteroid belts and stations and stuff to be in your overview, unless you really need them for some reason.
Warp drive
Okay,
active.
fourth and final room. The thing that drops the loot will be a commander, and I believe it's a frigate, and there's going to be a million other cruisers in here. Yes, quite a few. That is what we need, the Sansha Tenebrous. So let's just approach him. The plan is to snipe this guy as soon as we can, and then we either swoop in and grab the loot, or we right click his wreck, save location on it, and then warp out, because the site will then despawn, and then 3 minutes later we can warp back to the wreck and all of this other evil nonsense will be gone. The only thing that will be here will be the wreck. Even all the scenery will despawn when the site despawns, because wrecks last for 2 hours, which is nice. See, we're being tracking disrupted already. I'm not a fan of that. I think we're just going to have to try and snipe it. Stay on approach to this guy. Fall off range is down to 8 kilometers. This is going to go badly. We're just going to have to try and snipe him, bookmark his wreck and warp out. I'm just going to save my spot in space. Right, let's get out of here, because these guys are going to melt us. Okay, we have bookmarked the spot we were in. Instead of bookmarking the wreck, I decided to do a preemptive bookmark of my exact spot in space. You do that by pressing Ctrl B, and your point in space is marked when you click submit, not when you press Ctrl B. So as you see, the site has disappeared because it has indeed despawned. So now, if I've done this right, we should be able to just warp back to that spot.
Warp drive active.
We do not need this bookmark anymore because the site itself is despawned, so we'll remove that. Even though I've told it to time out and remove itself in 2 days' time, I do like to keep it nice and neat. So if we're lucky, we'll just warp back to a place in space with... No. Okay, I did not leave it long enough because this acceleration gate is still here. So we'll just go and hang out for 5 minutes until it has fully despawned. No, we won't. What we'll do, we'll go and do the drone one, and then we'll come back for the other wreck.
Warp drive.
This is what we should have had on this one. As soon as you warp to the site, DED threat assessment minor, 2 out of 10. So this is the rogue drone 2 out of 10. Let's see what this site is like. I have not done the rogue drone 2 out of 10 for a very long time, because only one of the rogue drone anomalies gives you an escalation, and it's a 3 out of 10. So again, this is only found via scanning. Some more blurb.
Warp drive active.
2 tiny little drones in this first room, and they look like they're dead on our optimal, so these are fall off, I should say. These guys are probably going to get one-shotted. Yep.
Warp
Into room
drive
2.
active.
Well, that was significantly easier than the Sansha 2 out of 10, was it not? And just a little bit. Okay, we have a strain operation bunker. And lots more of these little things which we can barely see. So we'll just approach the gate because we're quite far away from them. I don't believe that strain operation bunker drops any kind of loot, so we're just going to ignore it. I'm just going to like spread my fire around all over the place and just try and kill everything. And you, and that can get that, and that can get that. It's a mixture of frigates and very, very small drones. Like the very small drones, you can barely even see their icon, they're so small. So again, we'll just pick them all off, one at a time. Use the keep it range tool, just to keep ourselves lined up so we hit them a bit better. And there we go, that's more like it. Oh, that's just... that's one of the little baby ones that's just going to explode. There it goes, boom. I could of course have grouped my weapons, but I don't usually like grouping weapons. Especially not with artillery. Because it has such a long cycle time, I'd rather not have to wait the entire cycle time for the entire group to be ready to fire again. I'd rather stagger them like this. So as soon as something dies, the next cannon's ready to fire.
Warp drive.
Right, well that didn't take long, did it? On to room 3, which I believe is the final room. And if I remember rightly, there's a big giant construction. Yeah, dim memories of this thing. Looks like there's 2 containers. We'll go for this red one first. We'll just banzai towards that. Everything's a million miles away. It's human station debris. Don't know what that is. I think that hive under construction will take way too long to kill, so let's not do that. I really just want to have a look inside that assemble container and the rogue drone container. Because I believe these are the things that actually contain the loot in this site. It looks like these little baby drones have noticed we're here. What are their resistances like? Respectable, but they've barely got any hit points, so... Goodbye, little drones. Then there's a drone cruiser over here. Okay. That's all the little baby drones taken care of. This record album seems to be protecting this assembled container. That's the thing we want. We'll try and snipe the frigates on the way in. Boom! Got one. And apparently that considers this site done because it's despawned. Interesting to note. So that means if we warp out of here for any reason now, that's going to be bad times. Because we won't be able to come back because the in-gate might have despawned. Come on, little Thrasher. Considering this is only a destroyer and we've got basically no skills, we've been killing an awful lot of cruisers. Not quickly, mind, but we have been killing them. Okay, let's see if we can get into that container now. It's like some more little drones have noticed what we've been doing and they've come to protest. But they can just go away. Alright, we have a 5th tier Overseer's personnel effect, worth 180,000 ISK. These only exist to be sold at Concord stations. And we'll talk about that when we find them. Right, let's try and fly through this gap and get down here to the other rogue drone container. If you can indeed fly through the gap in this model. I'm not sure if we can or not. It looks like we can fit. We may bounce off. Let's see. This is another reason why people don't run this site, because it takes... I mean, the first 2 rooms are absolutely easy, but this 3rd room has quite a lot of travelling in it. Okay, it looks like we can actually fly through this gap in the middle of the model. That's good. I like that. I like that a lot. Yay, Thrasher! This ship only cost like 2.8 million. And it's already made 180,000, plus whatever is in the wreck at the bookmark we have yet to return to. We shall see what is in that wreck as soon as we've killed these guys. Usually sites despawn about 5 minutes after you leave, sometimes they despawn instantly. In this case it's going to be a 5-minute job. Yay! Done! Right, let's have a look in here. There's a small chance of you to get a faction module from here. And faction modules is where the money is. Let's see what we've got. We've got... 1 condensed alloy. That's annoying. These drone alloys used to be dropped by every drone and they break down into a decent amount of minerals. So many people were farming drones that it actually began affecting the economy of the mining economy, so they removed these from all drones, but you can still find them in these drone containers, which is nice. But yeah, we didn't earn an awful lot from that, did we? 180,000 for that, and some minerals from that. Nah. That's how loot tables work. Sometimes you just get gypped. Okay, the other site has despawned, and the only thing that is here is the wreck, which is exactly what we wanted to do. So let's have a look what is inside this commander wreck. So we can remove that location and remove the location we're at right now. That's all that tidied away, jolly good. So let's see how much we made from this 2 out of 10 site. And our survey said, oh hello sexy. Sexy. We have made 49.6 million-esque. Chiefly because of this thing, 49.2 million that's worth on the open market. This piece of garbage is worth 14,000 and this 6th tier Overseer's personal effects is worth 360. So 49.6 million, thank you very much. This ship cost 2.3, so yes. This has gone really rather well. Now of course, we have to get that loot to market without being killed.
Warp drive active.
So let's get back to Tashmarkon and stash it away nice and safe. What an excellent result. Right, we got our ill-gotten gains back to Tashmarkon nice and safe, and it looks like we've done 2 more air carrier things. Of course we did. Destroyed 300 enemy ships, wow, and killed 75 enemies in a destroyer. Well, that's pretty good. We'll claim both of them. And we'll redeem them and see what else we've got. Let's open this container. It's given us a Namar destroyer skill book. We'll just inject that, just because we can. Right, I am going to reprocess this drone loot into its minerals. Thank you very much. And hopefully that will give us enough that we can make this blueprint. No? Why not? 24 of them, 19 of them. But does this not have a... Oh, you're kidding me, really? This station, annoyingly, doesn't have a manufacturing facility. That's quite annoying. Manufacturing, please. Oh, there is a DED station in this, so that's quite good. I think we might move our home station to this place. Yeah, that looks like a good idea. So let's load up all the loot and take it over there. We'll leave the level 2 and level 3 agents for another day, because I don't think we're going to need them at that place. Let's dock and save the location. It's nice that there's a DED station here. That means we can sell these loot boxes straight away. I like that. I have set both of the 3 out of 10 escalations as waypoints, and it looks like both of them are very close to where we are, so that's going to cut down on the travel time. We're only really doing this to manufacture an item to get another 500,000-esque. Every penny helps at the moment.
Docking request accepted.
There we are. And we'll take all this stuff out. And now we can use this blueprint. Here we are. 24 titanium, 19 pyrite. Start the job. We don't even need to keep the missiles. We could just stop the job. We would lose the input materials, but I don't really care. But it only takes 5 minutes, so we'll let it run. We can either sell the rockets or break them back down and get at least some of our minerals back. So now we're in the Corvette. Let's go and sell these at the DED station, which is in this system. I'm liking this. This is cool. And here we are in a DED station. When we right-click these and view market details, we see that they are being bought at 360,000 ISK each, and they're over 90 days in duration, so this is the NPC buy price. See, players are cheekily putting buy orders for them here. So you can sell this to a player for 174, and they'll just bring it here and sell it to the NPC at 360. So this is the base price, so we should get just over 500,000 for these. 496. Not bad. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. Now we need to go and retrieve our big rupture, so let's go and get it. And I shall bring you back when we are in place to run the first of our 3 out of 10 sites. Alright, we're here. Let's go.
Warp drive active.
As we see, we get the immediate pop-up when we warp into the site. And it is unsafe, a 3 out of 10. Now luckily, this is only 2 rooms as opposed to the 2 out of 10, which was 4 rooms. There are not even any cruisers in here. It's mainly just destroyers, but it's quite a lot of destroyers. But we should be fine in our cruiser. So let's get through this acceleration gate and count how many destroyers we have to, well, destroy. It's not that many, to be honest, so we should just approach the gate. And if we were artillery fit, we could probably hit them all from here, because medium artillery obviously has longer range than the small artillery, which our Thrasher uses. Something's shooting at us. I think it's the turret. Let's just keep all these guys at range. Yeah, there are quite a few things here. Let's turn the armour rep on. But once they come into range, they're going to be easy to take care of. As we see, we're chewing through them at a great rate of knots. And they're also chewing through my armour at a decent rate of knots. But our reactive armour hardener is slowly moving its resistances over to block what we're being shot with. See, it is now providing 30 EM and 30 thermal protection. So our resistances are now 72 EM and 55 thermal, which is nice. This squad leader looks like it's a commander, but it's not. It's just a fake. It's just a fake commander. He is fake news. He is taking rather a long time to kill, so maybe he is a commander. Let's have a look at his resistances. He's got really high resist, so maybe he is an actual commander. Okay, we'll take out everything else first, and then we'll go back to working on the squad leader. It's an annoyingly tough little enemy. The tank has been pretty much rock solid. It was a little bit tricky when everything was up close, but then we killed everything, so it's been fine ever since. Let's keep this guy at range now. Got some guys at the back. I'll just give a little squirt of micro warp drive. Just approach these guys at the back. Sounds pretty cool in here because they're all firing lasers at me. Pew pew. One more squirt of micro warp drive, just one cycle. Turn it on, turn it back off again. There we go. We could refit this ship for artillery, but it would mean changing the rigs. Because artillery needs a lot more power grid than 220mm cannons does, I'll tell you that for free. So what we would need to do is to downgrade this large cap battery to a medium, or even just a capacitor recharger, to give ourselves enough power to fit 650mm guns. In fact, while we're killing that guy with a 90 million resist, we'll have a look at this situation. Modules, projectile turrets, artillery cannons medium, medium scout artillery if possible, power grid's way over, we'd have to take the cap battery off. Right, that guy died. Let's have a look at his wreck. Apparently it is marked as an Overseer's frigate wreck, so let's have a look what's inside it. So then we'd need a capacitor recharger, and then we'd have to do nothing but capacitor rigs, pretty much. Alright, he has given us a 5th tier Overseer's personnel effect and the command relay key, which we need to get through the gate, so that's pretty good. So let's go back to the general site and get through the gate.
Warp drive active.
Engineering rigs, capacitor control circuits. Even 3 of them would only give us 6 minutes and 7 seconds, so we probably would need a medium cap battery. Even a compact doesn't fit, so we'd need a power grid rig as well. Yeah, not great. That is the problem with artillery fits. Okay, as we see, there are nothing but destroyers in here and some heavy missile batteries, which are a little bit of a toothache. So let's try and close the range on all these things. Yeah, because the heavy missiles can hit us from a very long way out. Where is the guy? This sent us Black Ops Commander. This is what we need to kill. It's got lots of shields, so we'll be killing him last. Right. Micro warp drive off. Armour repairer on. Let's get to killing. Now luckily they're destroyers, so destroyers are pretty squishy. At least for us. That guy's a little bit too far away. That guy's a little bit too far away. Come on. Kill him. There we go. Capacitor is not happy. Not a happy chappy at all. You know what, I'm just going to approach things. Rather than keeping them at range, I'm just going to approach them. That's probably the better idea. Yeah, tank is having to work fairly hard. It's not fully repairing us each cycle. But that's okay. as long as we're killing things, it means we're taking less and less and less damage per second. So the tank will eventually catch up. In theory, at least. Is this more difficult or less difficult than the 2 out of 10? Answers on a postcard, please. Or down in the comments. Answer it somewhere. Then we'll approach the next one. Yeah, because we're on direct approach and moving quite slowly, that's why we're taking quite a lot of damage, but then we're dealing out an awful lot of damage as well. That's the 50% armor warning. I don't like hearing that. That's not good. I'm going to have to boost away for a little while. That's slightly annoying. We're going to have to warp out. That's embarrassing.
Warp drive active.
Let's get out of here.
The capacitor is empty.
Oh, I know. Was not expecting to have to warp out. The good thing is that we didn't kill the commander, so the site hasn't despawned. Wow. I'm not quite sure why the damage ramped up all of a sudden. I mean, we'd killed almost all the room, and all of a sudden, we were taking massive amounts of damage. Right, let's just sit outside here until we've repaired ourselves. Very unexpected. When you dock and undock like that, you get full capacitor and full shields for free, which is nice. Just walk back to the site.
Active.
By the time we get there, the armor repairer will have fixed us up all the way. Thank you. So fit-wise, I think we are going to need at least one capacitor rig on this, just so the cap can last a bit longer. Maybe an auxiliary nano pump, which means the armor repairer will repair more per cycle. And then possibly something to do with extending the fall-off range of our weapons.
Drive active.
We can make plans like this because we've got a module worth £46 million waiting at home. Here we are, armor's back to normal, jolly good. Turn everything else back on. Just go straight through this gate as soon as we land. Was not expecting this site to be this difficult. I'm not sure what was doing the damage, whether or not it was the missile turrets, or the gun turrets, or the destroyers themselves. I'm thinking probably the turrets. Right, this guy looks like he's the closest. Let's go and get him. Because as we skill up, we'll be doing more damage and doing everything better. Ow. Right, let's just blaze these guys. Micro warp drive off. Armor repairer on. Let's approach the next guy right now. I'm just going to keep doing little squirts of micro warp drive just to keep our speed up, because the faster you go, the harder you are to hit. So the less damage we'll be taking. I know that capacitor's not going to like me constantly using the micro warp drive, but it's just going to have to learn to deal with it. Because we need it. Let's just approach this heavy missile battery. I'm sure it's the heavy missile batteries that are doing the damage. I turned off incoming fire because it's just annoying. I can see with my eyes how much damage I'm taking. I can't do a forensic analysis of what's doing the damage. And these turrets have got a lot of hit points. The resistances are not that great, but they have got an awful lot of hit points. Right, let's just approach the commander now. The damage has tailed off. Right, that's one of the two heavy missile gun towers dead. That should knock off a big load of incoming damage. Okay, so we know this fit needs some work. Why don't we actually put the drones out? That'd be an idea. Go drones go, add your small amount of DPS. Boom! Bang! Dead. And in that wreck right there is our prize. And we've got 827,000. 360 from another one of these Overseer's personal effects, and a Dead Space module worth 467,000. Not terrible. Right, I'll go and do the second site and I'll bring you back when it's been done and I'll show you what we got. Okay, we're back, but things have indeed changed. I took all that expensive loot to market and I sold it all, and we got about 39 million. We didn't get the full 46, but that's because estimated price is the game-wide universal average. And with that money, I bought another Rupture. No, I did not lose the first one. I very nearly did, but we did not. And I have built, indeed, an artillery Rupture with 650mm guns, so we have a fall-off range of 37 kilometers. Why did I do this? Because the second room in this site is a real pain in the ass, and I want to be able to hit things from as soon as I land in the room. So we have a full rack of Scout Artillery R when we look on the attributes page, Meta level 4. These are the best guns you can get. And instead of a micro-watt drive, we have an enduring afterburner. So we can move at a slower speed, but we can do it forever because it's cap stable thanks to a medium compact cap battery, because we could not fit a large, we did not have enough power grid, and 3 capacitor control circuit Mark 1s. The rest of the fit is the same as the previous one: tracking computer, sensor booster, medium armor rep, reactive armor hardener, and 3 gyro stabilizers. This still does 175 DPS, which is pretty good, and it projects the fall off out to 37. And as we know, fall off extends way beyond that. Like your weapon range is actually double your fall off. And considering this thing targets out to 57.5, we should be able to hit things in this evil second room as soon as we land. Well, let's find out, shall we? See, I managed to kill only 2 destroyers in here, and then I was reduced to about 10% hull. I escaped with barely a scrap of my hull. Yeah, that's nice, I like that. We can hit things from this distance. And what should my keep it range be with this? Something like 35,000. So let's do that. Let's keep this guy at 35,000 and just hit him with artillery in the face. We may miss quite often, because again, low skills and poor tracking, but you know, it's going better than it did before. And keep that guy at 35,000. Yeah, this seems a little bit easier, does it not? Yeah, allegedly, if everything in this room hits you all at the same time, it is 600 damage per second in your face hole. And I can testify to that because it damn near killed me. Still not quite sure how we managed to do the first of the sites, to be honest, in the autocannon fit. So we'll use the autocannon fit for running anomalies, because as we know it's very good at that. And we'll keep this artillery fit for doing the escalations. It ain't no thing. We'll have to go home and drop off all the loot from the anomalies anyway, so we'll just change ships while we're doing that. No problemo. So we've bought 2 new ships on day 2. A destroyer and another cruiser. Oh man, being able to hit things at this kind of range is chef kiss. It's gorgeous. I mean, I could of course just blap the boss. Maybe I'll get rid of the probe launcher on this and fit an auto targeter. That's probably a good idea. Yeah, this site is a lot harder than I remember it being. Not quite sure how we got away with it the first time. I mean, we killed like half of this room before we had to warp out in the first time in the autocannon fit. And then this second site, like pretty much as soon as I got within 20 kilometers of these guys, all the shield and half the armor just disappeared and I had to run away. And by the time I'd aligned out, we were in hull. Very, very low hull. It was not a pleasant experience. This is very pleasant. I'm having a good time now. In fact, let's reduce this to 32,000. Okay, so we know the way to do this site is to use artillery fit and just snipe them. And of course, as our skills continue to go up, we will of course get more accurate and have longer range and hit things harder. So it's all good. One more of these guys. and then the boss, and then that'll be it. Let's put our little dronesies out, get them to start working on the boss man. Our optimal is 12, he's just about on that, so as soon as the artillery is ready, it will just hit this guy right in the head. Yes, this guy does have an annoying amount of resistances, at least the shield. His shield is absolutely huge, and then as soon as the shield goes down, he just melts, which is nice. We'll just keep him at range. In fact, I'm going to stop the tracking computer, reload it with the tracking speed script, turn it on. There we go. Maybe the fall of range should actually be something like 28,000. Yeah, it should be 2800. There he goes. Shield's down, he's about to explode straight away. So let's approach. And there we go. 2 sites done. Let's see what we got in this one. I was not expecting to have to go and buy another ship. I really wasn't. Neither was I expecting day 2 of this playthrough to be so good and take so long that it'd be split into 2 videos, but here we are. And the agency is updated because we have no more available escalations because I've done them both. Let's see what we won this time, shall we? And it better not just be an overseer's box. And our survey said... 2 million. Poopy. Right, let's bust this joint.
Warp drive active.
I guess I'll see you back at home. Right, all the loot has been sold, and as you can see, I'm in a Wreath, because I bought a new Wreath, and I have fitted it thusly. In the mid-power slots, we have 2 large compact shield extenders to give ourselves more AHP, 2 compact EM shield amplifiers, which are passive, to give us more EM shield resist, and 1 compact thermal to give us more thermal resist. In the low slots, we have 3 inertial stabilizer 2 to bring us down to a 5-second align into warp, a compact damage control just for more effective hit points, and a power diagnostic just again for more effective hit points, and 3 hyperspace velocity optimizers to bring our warp speed up to 7.06 AU. This is just so I'm a little bit safer going to market than running around in a Thrasher or a rookie ship. So this thing will serve us well, and to put inside it I have a giant secure container. As we see, this ship only has 3045 cubic meters. That is fine. This giant container takes up only 3000, but it actually contains 3,900. That means that the Wreath can effectively hold 3,900 because we get an extra 900 because these things are somehow bigger on the inside. And go figure. And whilst I was shopping, I bought some Scout autocannons, which are better than the ones we have in our autocannon fit. So let's just swap these in, and then we'll call it a day. Or we'll call it 2 days for you guys, because you're watching this over 2 days. It's been one single 5-hour play session for me, but for you it's been a little bit longer. I forgot to pick up the command relay key in the second site I was in. Never mind, you do get one in each site. So we'll be selling these autocannons at some point in the near future, so we can put all the loot into this giant secure container, because we know that is what this is. Okay, so let's review the end of the day. We ran 2 3 out of 10s. We got 1 million from one of them and 2 million from the other. Absolute garbage. We ran 1 Sansha 2 out of 10 and we made 49.6 million, which is very nice, and that bought us the Wreath and the Rupture and the Thrasher and everything else. So that was nice. We ran 1 drone 2 out of 10 and we only made 182,000. That was pretty appalling. We ran 10 Sansha hideaways, got 2 commanders and 2 escalations, and we ran 5 Sansha refuges and got no commanders and no escalations. Did not run any drone sites because I could not be bothered. We did run 2 Sansha lookouts. We got to 1 commander and no expeditions. So all in all, it's not been a bad day's work. However, at the end of the day, our ISK total is only 549,529 because we've spent it all on ships. I wrote down what we did. We moved to a Mars space, we ran anomalies in Aja, we got 2 310s, didn't find much, bought a Thrasher, bought a Rupture, bought a Wreath. So I think this is all of our outlay for a very long time. Simulate the anomaly hunting ship to update our DPS. So the autocannon fit has gone up from 172 DPS at the start of the day to 219, which is really rather nice. And the fall of range is remaining at 13 kilometers because we haven't changed that. The artillery fit, if you right click, simulate fit on that, and remember to disable one drone because we only have drones level 4. We see that the artillery fit is only doing 181 DPS, but it does throw it way down range at 31 kilometer fall off, which is rather nice. And our little baby Thrasher is doing a respectable 122 DPS with a fall off of 18 kilometers, which ain't bad. I mean, that's a good day's work. 3 ships bought, lots of sites run, lots of money made. So hopefully that should be the outlay done for a very long time until I buy the third and final rig for this ship. I did say I wanted a rig which was going to increase range of our weapons, and I am going to do that. The only problem is that projectile weapon rigs, when you fit them, you see that the power grid suddenly starts flashing red at minus 17. What I really want is an ambit extension, and this increases the ship's projectile turret accuracy fall off and expensive increased power grid need for projectile weapons. Now the drawback is 10%, so that is increasing the amount of power needed by these weapons by 10%. But there is a skill called projectile weapon rigging which reduces that deficit. So I've added that to the skill queue. Unfortunately, we had to do jury rigging level 1, 2 and 3 before we can do projectile weapon rigging 1 and rigging level 2. This will reduce the drawbacks by 10% per level. So instead of needing 10% extra power, it will need 9% at level 1 and then 8% at level 2, and hopefully that will let it fit, because I would really rather like to get longer fall off on the weapons. It doesn't really matter because we've got lots of other stuff ranked up. We've got nearly 10 days of skills ranked up. Surgical strike is more damage. Trajectory analysis is more fall off, which is kind of what we're going for with all the rigging. I think if you add all these rigging times up together, it's still less than the trajectory analysis. So that's why I'm doing that. Small projectile turret, just to give the destroyer a little bit more damage. Drones 4, so we can actually use drones 4 ourselves after our expert systems run out in a few days' time. Target management 4 gives us one more target. Long range targeting, astronomic range finding increases our scan probe strength per level, and acquisition reduces the time it takes to do scans. So that's all I could really think of for skills until, because as we see, everything's getting into like multiple days from now on. We did 3 of the 4 daily goals. We're not doing the 4th one because we're not in faction warfare. Looks like tomorrow we're going to get skill points, I believe, from something. Yes, 10,000 skill points for that, and then we'll get 10,000 by doing 2 of the other ones as well. So that's not bad. So I shall see you in 1 week's time after having done, hopefully, 2 daily tasks every day between now and when I see you again. So we should have, what, 60 or 70 or maybe even 80,000 skill points further down the line, as well as being 7 days down the line. So all this will be done by the time you come back, and I will have found something else to put in here. I'll think of something. But until then, do look after yourself, do have fun with your own playthrough in EVE Online. That's the end of day 2, and this character is looking very, very good. So look after yourself, and I'll talk to you again soon.